I have noticed that since I stopped doing Botox, my skin has gotten so much better. So maybe we can talk about why that is. And I had like good skin before, but in the last year, it's been 12 or 14 months now. It's gotten better and better, the quality of the skin. Does that have to do with the lymph flow? I know that Botox can kind of disrupt that flow. And I do look back on when I was heavily Botoxed and I'm like, I was a little puffy. Like it looked like things were stagnant in the face.
This is the very interesting point that you're bringing up, because what I'm hearing from the industry, from the beauty industry professionals, right? It's the preventative. The Botox is preventative and you have to start early. And like if you don't, you're like doomed or whatever. That's basically the sort of a message that many people are hearing. And in reality, from the natural perspective, the scientists, a lot of people are already coming forward and saying that that's not exactly the case. Unfortunately, yes, if you do something, whether it's Botox, fillers, a bunch of other treatments, it creates inflammation. If it creates the lymph stagnation, all of those are actually hallmarks of skin aging. So how can you say that this is something preventative when what you're really preventing is proper blood flow, proper oxygenation, proper lymph drainage, right? You're creating inflammation that now your tissues have to be dealing with that, instead of, going forward, right? Instead of regenerating and thriving and blossoming, now they have to be dealing with inflammation or impaired blood flow, or impaired, lymph flow, all of that. So of course, in the long run, that would cause the premature aging to skin. The muscles are not operating how they should be. There's the fascia impaired. Like all of the functions, the vital functions within our skin are not thriving. They're compromised. And now your skin, again, is stuck in this rabbit hole, like dealing with that. And that's what I also hear many times, that after Botox or after fillers, it's just like there's like changes in the skin, like it's faster aging or this or that. Well, yes, I mean, it's kind of, catching up to what it's been dealing for all the time when when those foreign substances were inside the tissues.
I've heard there's some muscle atrophy, right? So I know in myself, I was doing masseter Botox. I do clench and grind a little bit at night. And I had a little bit more of like a square jaw. So I did it for all of those reasons. And I actually really liked it. I mean, it helped a lot with the clenching. And I liked how it kind of like slimmed that masseter area of my jaw. However, I've noticed since that has grown back that I have more structure to my lower face and it actually looks tighter. And I know that that's something that can happen, especially with like Botox in the lower face, is that things can kind of like fall a little bit. And I would imagine that would happen all over the face. I know that there's a little bit of controversy online over whether that's true or not. And of course, like the people who do Botox, who administer Botox are like, no, that doesn't happen. No, this is fine. And then the people maybe more on like the scientific side of it are like, no, actually this can happen. And I always say, like, I'm not anti-Botox. Anybody listening can do whatever. And if this had not happened to me, like I probably would still be doing it. Yeah. It just, I didn't know until I had to find a different way, which is why I'm like exploring these modalities. But I have noticed that since I have been on the other side of it, like I also hear so many stories from from listeners, from followers. Weekly, I get a number of DMs from people who are going through the same or a similar thing. And then I see all of these videos about like muscle atrophy and disrupted lymph flow and like the other side of it that we don't hear about. And I don't think that practitioners who provide Botox are doing this in any nefarious way, but they make it seem like a perfect modality. And it's like, nothing is perfect.
I think
Everything has
that.
downsides.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they just believe that. That's another side of the story. I've heard that some, plastic surgeons or dermatologists, whatever, doctors, they were confused themselves, I'm assuming. They were sold a certain product and they were told by whatever it is, the manufacturers, the industry, whatever it is, oh, this is what it is. This is what the fillers are going to be gone within 3 months or this or that. And they really, to the point, it's maybe not their fault, completely, because they were sold something. They were taught this at the seminars. You give this to your patients or the clients, and if they don't like the filler or whatever, it's going to be gone in a few months. And then, of course, everything, like, this is what I always say, all the trends that just come, right? You have to give it at least a few years to see where it's going to take us, because it's a little bit of a jet lag, right? From the time we land on some trend, and by the time there's like some evidence or research comes along or something like this. So whatever it is. And that's one of the things what I actually try to stick to more of the, I want to say, like a traditional, old ways, whether it's the skincare or self-care, that have passed the test of time. It's just been years and years of evidence that this is how it works. And, even if there may be some negatives, but it's like a tiny, tiny, tiny percentage. And and then when it comes to any of the beauty treatments, right, we see like every 6 months or whatever, some new machine pops up, or this laser, this or that. Like, give it at least few years, let the doctors, first of all, figure out what it is, and then let the patients see, like, based on the evidence, on the experience, what it is. And then maybe, if everything seems to be working well within the next few years, maybe you can try it for yourself.